Mary Wilson is here. You know her as one-third of the most successful female group ever, the Supremes, who became one of the top three acts of the 1960s in terms of commercial appeal, turning out 5 number-one singles in a row. Their extraordinary achievements surpassed the boundaries of even the legendary Motown sound, led by its founder, Berry Gordy Jr. Mary Wilson, Diana Ross, and Florence Ballard met in the 50s in the Brewster Housing Projects out in Detroit, Michigan. They first went by the name the Primettes and were a quartet with 4 members. First, Betty McGlowan, and later, Barbara Martin, when they recorded their first single in 1960. 1 year later, as a trio, the Supremes debuted on Motown Records. 12 number-one hit singles followed, gold albums, sold-out concerts, and television appearances added to making the Supremes rivals to the Beatles. They were mature, sophisticated, elegant, classy, glamorous, and cool. The magic music machine of the writing team of Holland, Dozier, and Holland created the perfect formula that catapulted the Supremes into greatness when they released their 10th single, Where Did Our Love Go?, their first number-one hit single in the summer of '64, selling over 2 million copies. 1986, Mary Wilson's best-selling autobiography was published, Dream Girl, My Life as a Supreme. That was followed by Supreme Faith in '90. 1988, the Supremes were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and in '98, inducted into the Vocal Group Hall of Fame in Sharon, Pennsylvania. 4 years earlier, the famous trio was placed on the legendary Hollywood Walk of Fame. We're talking about an illustrious career, solo albums, her work in the theater as an author, also a radio career, participating in her various charities. She's toured with the Duke Ellington Orchestra with Sophisticated Ladies and has a new aspiration as her sights are set on having a government stamp issued celebrating all the classic female groups in past music history, and I am pleased to finally get to sit across after we put this thing together from Mary Wilson, and welcome. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate it.
Thank you. But you forgot one thing. My biggest achievement of all, my grandchildren.
I applaud you for that. That is an achievement.
Oh, they're so adorable.
I want you to tell me first about this government stamp.
Right. Now, actually, there are only 12 stamps, and this initially we decided to see how it would go, and if that would go, then we'll put out another 12 because there were so many girl groups. People think that girl groups only started in the 70s or 80s, but girl groups were back in the 50s, the Chantels, the Shirelles, and so we have 12. I have gotten an artist he goes by the name of Yemi, and he's recreated their likeness on stamps. Now each girl group has been bought by a different country. And so I think the Supremes were bought by Ghana, and there are just a lot of different countries that buy the stamps. So I put this together. We have the unveiling in August at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Museum.
Out in Cleveland.
In Cleveland.
Right.
Yes, and so most of the girls will come out, the ladies will come out, and we'll have a pajama party, and Cousin Brucey will be there from New York, and he will be the MC for the entire afternoon. So it should be really fun, and all the ladies are very excited about it. We have the Angels,
Wow.
the Ronettes, Martha and the Vandellas, the Marvelettes, the Velvelettes, the Cookies, Chantels. It's just going to be great.
And you spearheaded the whole thing?
I did because I felt that males were receiving too much glory. I shouldn't say too much because everyone deserves whatever they get, but I think that girl groups don't get as much attention as the male groups do.
Now, did you have to approach the government to
Well,
to
actually,
work
I was involved in one of the other commemorative stamps for John Lennon, I think it was, and so I just became acquaintance with the stamp company, and we kept in touch. And when I said, "Hey, I would like to do this for girl groups," they said, "Hey, great idea." So there
And
you
there
go.
it is. Another reason I have to applaud you. Sophisticated Ladies with the Duke Ellington Orchestra. How did that come about? What piqued your interest? And I want you to tell me about that from the onset.
Yes, well, I moved to New York because I wanted to do Broadway. I haven't done Broadway yet. I've done off-Broadway, actually. Grandma Sylvia's funeral, I was in that for a while. And I just wanted to do, I love theater, let's put it that way. And I've always liked jazz. So my agents had started looking for projects for me. And this one came up. and I immediately jumped to it because I grew up loving jazz. Having the opportunity to just jump into another genre of music was so appealing to me that I did it more for the jazz. But then when with Duke Ellington's name on it, that made me singing the best. I mean, the music was the best. And Billy Strayhorn, that music was. The one song that I absolutely love in the show is "Something to Live For." I have almost everything a human could desire, cars and houses, bearskin rugs, to lie before my fire. But there's something missing, something isn't there. It seems I'm never kissing the one whom I could care for. I want something to live for. Anyway, I won't go through the whole thing. But just the idea of being able to go there, to sing that type of music was so, I was just thrilled to
Well,
to
not
do
only was it intellectually stimulating, but it was creatively challenging for you as well to get a chance to spread your wings, if you will.
Yes, yes. Well, and that's very true because I was one of the background singers in the Supremes, and I didn't feel I was one of the background singers, but that was the niche that people put me into, and that's the niche I actually fell into. Um, and so I never really got a chance to express myself vocally the way I really wanted to. So jazz was the way that I always did, like at private parties. So I actually always did that. So coming back now and singing it, I was stretching, but it was so comfortable. It felt just very, very natural.
So with that, what's the best thing about where you are today?
Well, the best thing where I am today is that I'm 58 and I can do what I want to do. And I found out at 50 that you better hurry up and do what you want to do.
No, lady, you got plenty of time. Don't even think that way.
You better hurry up because time is flying by. I guess I realized that I have choices and I can choose what I want, and I have the freedom of doing that. When you're younger, when you're a teenager, when you are married, or when you're in a group, you have so many other elements that you have to be concerned with, and a lot of your opinions are not always expressed the way you want them to be expressed.
So then when you look back at the totality of the body of your work, in all aspects and angles and areas, you think and you see what?
Oh, I see miracles. My life is just one huge miracle, and it's also a growing. There's something about being able to. You're always searching. This is something I see with a lot of my other friends who are all kind of stars and whatever. Everyone's still searching. The audiences see you as having accomplished something, but in actuality, as an artist, you're just constantly searching. And in this search, in this journey, you're able to achieve certain things, but it never seems to be enough. You're always doing more and more, and you always want to do more. And this is okay. You've done that, and just because you've done that to yourself, I think to me it proves that you can never do enough.
Well, good enough isn't good enough.
Good enough,
right?
But I don't know if you ever feel that you're good enough.
Exactly.
That's the
why
point.
you keep
Yeah,
raising the bar.
You're always trying to really achieve that great thing. And I really personally, I don't necessarily feel that I have to achieve something great. I mean, that's not really what my life is all about. My life is about doing.
Well, then what were the things in life that taught you who you are and what you needed to be happy?
Oh, well, nothing ever taught me what I needed to be happy. I was always happy. In fact, I went to EST. Do you remember EST?
Yeah,
Oh, you
I do. No, but I've read.
Well, you go there and they tell you, what are you smiling for? And I'm like, I'm smiling because I'm happy. They're like, no, you're not. You're not happy. And everyone's always trying to tell me I'm not happy. But I basically, I love, like I saw Maya Angelou the other day on television. She was speaking about the beauty of words. Well, I'm the kind of person, I love the beauty of life. I'm in awe of life. I just love this thing we call life, that we can just turn here and do this, turn there, or how sometimes negative things come in and you have to go through these things. And when you go through them, you come out, you're shaking while you're going through them. When you come out of it, especially something you thought you would never, the end is never there. It's like, when is this going to be over? Please, God, don't. once you're there, it's like, wow, it's like giving birth.
Well,
Birth, you
like
know.
almost like you rechannel it and find that inner peace within you that makes the pessimistic side optimistic.
Yeah,
Taking something good and turning it into something.
right,
I mean, bad and turning it into something good.
and then when you go there, when you actually are there, you actually find that you are a different person. You've actually learned something from that experience, whether you wanted to or not. So you're constantly rebuilding who you are. I mean, I find that I'm rebuilding who I am, but yet still I'm not changing who I am.
But
I am who I am already, and this is something I realized very early in life. I am the same person I was at the age of 5. I'm the same person, but I'm so much more aware of who that
you
is.
stayed grounded to who you are and your roots, and yet matured or blossomed, if you will.
Well, I don't know if I stayed grounded because I wanted to. It's just because who I am is so much who I am.
And other than family, then, let's stay with this. Other than family, who do you think it is that taught you the most about life, yourself, what you wanted to get out of life, other than family? Who's somebody that you owe something to, because without them, you wouldn't be the Mary Wilson that you are today?
God. God. I am, and then I have many, many teachers in all the people that I've met, all the people that I've been close to. Florence Ballard, Diana Ross, Berry Gordy, my mother, my sister, some of my best friends. Some of my best teachers have been teachers. My one teacher, Mr. Boone, who instilled in me at the age of 17 that I could write, that I was a writer.
Music or literature?
Literature. Well, I would like to do literature, but actually it was my biography. And my goal is to write a book, but I don't know if I can do that. But in my 2 autobiographies were, the thought was instilled in me at the age of 17 by my English teacher. He said, Mary, you should consider becoming a writer. And I'm saying to myself, why is this man telling me this? All I want to do is run down to Motown and record. You know, see Marvin Gaye, see the Temptations, see Mary Wells. You know, what is he talking about? But something in me kept that, and so I was able to. The minute we started recording, I could see that I had something to write about, and so I started keeping my diaries at that moment.